Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read. Today I'm going to tell you about all the books that I read in May, and spoiler, there's not that many. So as some of you may know, in the month of May, I was a co-host for the Bookemon Readathon, and I was a team leader on Team Instinct. So basically this readathon was a whole bunch of prompts that we are trying to complete, and when we completed those prompts, we got combat points, which helped us in our fight against Team Rocket. So it was a really fun readathon, and it was really cool to come together with so many other readers to defeat a fictional bad team from Pokemon. I thought that was like really fun, and this was round 3 of the readathon. There's going to be more rounds coming up, so stay tuned for those. So the first book that I read was for the yellow prompt. I was Team Instinct and our color was yellow. So this prompt was to read a book with yellow on the cover, and I chose Robin War, and it's a graphic novel. I chose a graphic novel specifically because my Pokemon buddy was Charizard, and one of his abilities was that he could give me triple the page count for graphic novels, so that's why I chose this. I really enjoyed this book. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Essentially, it's a bunch of people in Gotham, and they kind of come together as this force, and they decide that they are going to take on the Robin mantle and work as a team to be vigilantes for the city. And then it's the actual Robins coming together to be like, hey, if you're gonna do this, like, we need to train you because we don't want you guys getting hurt. Overall, I liked it. There was a lot of action in it. The storyline was really interesting to see where it went from where it started. And I really liked all the kind of like rookie Robins that weren't actual Robins. They were all unique in their own way, and I really liked that about it. I also really liked the art style kind of changed between issues. So I thought that was really interesting because that doesn't happen that often in graphic novels, that the art style like changes up a lot while you're going through. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I would recommend this one. It's great if you want to see all the Robins come together, and it's another staple for Gotham City if you want to get back into that world. So yeah, I would check this one out. The next prompt I chose was to be a book that had multiple perspectives in it, so the story is told from different people. And so for that one, I chose Thirst Trap by Zachary Ryan. This one was actually a very hard-hitting book. It follows the story of 4 different characters, the 4 gentlemen on the front cover. And what they do is it's their lives and kind of how they are, I wouldn't say deteriorating, but they're kind of going downhill because all of them have kind of had some sort of tragedy in their lives, and they're all different tragedies, but they're all dealing with them in different ways. And it talks about how this group comes together to kind of avoid these tragedies, and they use each other to kind of like just forget about them. But the moral of the story is that they need to actually come together and learn about this and grow from these tragedies. And so it was actually a really hard-hitting book because a lot of the stuff that was dealt with in this book is not similar to what I've read previously for Zachary Ryan. His other books are very like dramatic and like fluffy, but also just like ridiculous in a good way. But this one was just another step up for me and for him as a writer, because it shows that he has a lot of range as a writer, and he can bounce between different genre styles, if that makes sense. It was also a quick read because it was only 182 pages, but like that in no way had any impact on me reading this. Like I flew through it pretty fast because of the content that was in there and how it was being portrayed. I also thought that this character's name was Dylan the whole time, and then realized like halfway through the book his name was Dillian. And so then I was like, is that a spelling mistake? And checked back, but no, his name is actually Dillian, and I've never like heard that name before, and I thought that was very interesting. So yeah, just a fun fact about this book. Next up, I read this book because the prompt was to read a book on your TBR. Could be physical, could be an ebook or an audiobook, as long as it's on your TBR. And I chose The Final Weekend, A Stoned Tale by Neil Cassidy. This book was actually submitted to my blog, and so it was about time that I picked it up. and decided to read it. Essentially, it's like one of those party movies, so kind of like American Pie, where they have like this one big hurrah at the end of the movie, but in this case, it was the main characters were graduating, and it was their kind of like one big hurrah weekend before they all go off into their lives. So like internships, new jobs, moving back home. And I will say the book got kind of slow at parts, that it was like a little hard to get to, but the ending is worth it, because the ending is something that I did not expect to happen in a million years. For like prior, like reading the whole book up until the ending, I didn't, like, I thought it was just gonna end and be like, oh, it was one of those books where I was like, okay, it was mediocre, whatever. But I got to the ending and it was just like shocking. I'll say that. I don't know how I feel about the ending, but I think it's worth a read because of what, I can't spoil anything, but like the ending was just, I remember finishing this book and then turning to Marcus and being like, what the hell just happened? So that alone was just like, my mind was blown, and I was just like not sure how to feel. I still don't really know how I feel about this book. I think I'm gonna give it a 3 rating and just have it right in the middle, because I really don't know. Like, it wasn't, there were parts of it that were really not interesting, and I think they could have been skipped over, but then there were other parts that were interesting, and like I liked those. But that ending, like, I just don't know how, I don't know how to classify this ending, because it was so shocking to me. Like, I just did not see this coming at all. The writer just took like a complete left turn. So yeah, this book is right in the middle and it's gonna be a 3-star. Yeah, I'm lost for words. This book left me lost for words at the end. And then the last book I read this month, yes, that's right, I only read 4 books this month. This was for the prompt where I had to read a book. It wasn't part of Team Instinct's prompts, but it was part of one of the other team's prompts, and I chose it because it's a beast of a book, so I still get points for every page in the book, except I just have to cut it in half because it's not my team. So I still get half the points for it, plus the points for the actual prompt that was for it. And that was to read a book by an Asian author or based on Asian mythology or culture. And so I read Battle Royale by, I'm gonna butcher this name, Kushun Takami, I think is how you say that. And this book was amazing. I loved this book. Like every time I picked this book up, I did not want to put it down. I did not want to stop reading. I was so engrossed in this book and I just loved it. It was so much fun. It was just like the Hunger Games. Well, the Hunger Games got its kind of feeling from this book. This was actually the inspiration, I'm pretty sure. But it was so intense. So essentially, in the area where this book is set, the government chooses a grade 9 class of students every year. And what happens is that class gets taken to an island where they are set loose on the island. They're all given a little bit of supplies, and the goal is to be the last one standing. So it's like a battle royale. They have to survive and be the last one. So it's complete madness, and it was just so intense. The only hard thing that I had about this book was that I had to keep track of 40 different names for each of the classmates in this class that got chosen, and that was a little difficult because they were all similar sounding names. So at times I was struggling to remember who was who, and that was a little difficult. But I do like that the book it gives you multiple perspectives. So in the sense of the Hunger Games, you're in there with just Katniss and you're in her head, so you only get that one perspective. In this book, you got to be in perspectives of so many of the characters that are trapped on this island. And I actually found at points that I was tearing up because I was like, I would grow emotionally attached to some of these characters, and then things would happen, as we know, because they're having a battle royale, and it actually, like, it hurt. There was one point where I was actually like tearing up, and that surprised me because for a book to like give me that much emotion and make me feel that is a big deal. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book. It does get gory and pretty gruesome at times, so be warned for that if you do end up picking this up. But if you want a book full of action from start to finish, this is it. And I have so many good things to say about it. Like the end of this one blew my mind too. I loved it. Oh, it was really like well played out. I thought it was going to go in one direction and it went in a different direction, but it was a direction that I still liked and I was really excited about it. And it was so much fun reading this book. I felt like, well, I don't want to say I felt like I was there because I would not want to be there ever, but it was such an intense book. I'm glad that I picked this up and got to be gripped by it because it was awesome. And thank you, Jordan, for buying me this book for my birthday 2 years ago because it was fantastic. And the funny part is, he actually wrote a little note on the inside of this book that said, he said, "Hope you enjoy this read. Couldn't find the book I wanted to get you, but I heard this one is pretty decent too." So then he bought it for me. So this wasn't even the pick that he wanted to get me. This was like the second choice, and I still thought it was amazing. So I'm kind of wondering what that first choice was, because if this was the second choice, then the first choice is going to be awesome too, I'm assuming. I actually did a buddy read for this with Meg, who was my other team co-captain on our team. And I think she only gave this one a 3 out of 5. She read it via audiobook, so I don't know if that had an impact on her read at all, because I think it would be hard to keep track of all those names on audio. I think it was a little easier for me to keep track of the names when I was reading because like I would see how the like word is written, and that kind of helped me remember who was who a little bit more. I definitely think it could be difficult if it was like you were just hearing it. But I still recommend this book. Honestly, I think it's fantastic. Just remember, it's a little gory. And those are all the books I read for May. So I only got 4 done. I did my best. As you guys saw 2 videos ago, I am now reading a whole pile of books. Well, I'm trying to read 6 this month, and they're all ones that Marcus chose me, so they're all pretty big books. But I started with the first one, which is One Word Kill, and that one's like 200 pages, so I should be able to get through that one soon. So we'll see how that goes. And lastly, I encourage you guys to donate to the Black Lives Matter movement. I've put links in the description so that you have access to that and you can go and sign the petitions or donate. If you don't have money to donate but still want to help somehow, there is a video linked down in the description below that you can go to and watch the entire video. It is about an hour or so long. And by you watching all the ads that are on there, all that ad revenue is going to the organizations as well. So that is another way you can help if you can't financially donate. All the content that's in the video was made by Black creators, so I strongly encourage you to check that out. Even if you are donating, still check this video out because it's going to help the cause greatly. So those links will all be down in the description for you below. Anyways, that's it for my video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, keep on reading.